I was called gay because I don't like the swimsuit models, like the outfits or whatever. I was like, what? Somebody told me I need to go touch some grass, which is ironic because costumes are digital. They're not real. You want me to touch digital grass? And then somebody was like, how are you complaining about titties and ass? And I was like, this is a guy who's never had titties and ass, because why would you ever say that to me about something that's digital? All right, hello guys, welcome. What episode is it, champ?
I think we're like, what, 12
total? Yes. Yes, total yes, but what for the season?
10.
Yeah. Woo! X marks the spot. Happy 10th anniversary, Mr.
I
F.
call it anniversary, but yeah.
I mean, it's we did fucking 10 in one fucking season.
We should be doing like a season week break. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like what happened to the accident that you know with your internet last week, right? I can consider that kind of like so for every 9 we do, we should have a week kind of like that.
So is this a new season?
Yeah.
So is it season 3 now?
I think so.
Okay, I guess.
Or maybe you want the next one will be after 10.
Yeah, every 10. Let's do every 10.
Yeah, I think 10 makes more sense.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, perfect. All right, so before we get to the topics of the day and we continue on, I'll have a little surprise for my people that aren't paying attention to my socials might not know this, but bang! Look at the shirt, champ. Look at the shirt.
Oh, the tiger. That's really nice. I'm happy. That's really cool.
Isn't it so sick?
Yes, it's nice.
Yes, it's pretty cool. So this just went on sale today. So if you guys are interested in copping one, you can just hit ! merch in the chat. And the link to the Fighter Academy store will be there. You know what I'm saying? You can't really see. It's supposed to be pink, but my fucking green screen's kind of fucking with it. I think, or it could just be my monitor.
First of all, are we gonna do like a Sagat stream?
Oh, he comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't want to do a race, right? Because obviously, yours truly is gonna win the race. But I'm talking about first learning the character together.
Wait, yours truly is gonna win what race?
You want to race towards whatever MR you want.
Champ, you're not gonna hit any MR faster than me, bro. With Sagat, it's not happening, bro.
Are we serious? Do you really want to beat the race,
bro? I
can't believe this.
I'm okay. Listen, any other character, sure. The second eye patch is involved, I am Usain Bolt.
Okay, no. Okay, I'm not doubting your ability to play Sagat. I'm not saying even that. I'm talking about the race, which doesn't mean anything who's better too.
No, I know that, but it's just not going to be fair for you.
But I'm just talking about, race. That's all. If you want to do that race,
let's race.
Yeah,
what do you want to race to? 2K?
I think we could do 3 sections. Because, like, obviously, when the Sagat first comes out, then everybody, you would be starting as your placement, right? Okay, your placement. After the placement, we're going to go to master, right?
Okay.
Which should take within, like, 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because the placement, 10 games, plus you're going to play another, like, 12 or 16 games, depending, to get, all right? And then after that one, then we're going to have to race to 16, then to 18, and then to 2K.
I think we should skip 16. 16's too close. You don't think so?
Still,
100 MR?
That's still a checkmate. Yes, no, there's not. I think we should do that. Or we should do like 16. Yeah, I think 16.
16, 18. Yeah, 16, 18.
No, 1650. 1650. And then 18, then 2K. Yeah, we can do that race.
We could do that. What's the bet?
Nothing. It was just
we have to have something on the line. It doesn't have to be money. It's just got to be something funny.
It doesn't have to be money. But like the thing is, like, it's whatever I would say.
Okay.
I would win it. So that's why I'd rather just let you decide. So what you're kind of like.
If I win, you have to wear a wig for a whole episode.
And then if I win,
what do you want?
A wig? Then I will never have to wear it. Well, first of all, let's talk about this. What's like? Because there's 3 areas, right? So that's 3 sections.
Okay.
Obviously, nobody's gonna be able to do it the same day to do 2K because like obviously we're streaming at night already. Right? We have to rest.
Mm-hmm.
That means that's like gonna continue the next day, if you want, you still could go on. But I'm pretty sure I can get to like 1900 or 1800 the same day anyways. It's like the hardest grind is the 1850-ish to 2K.
Actually, I don't want you to wear a wig. I know what I want.
Okay.
I want you to wear Nintendo bought on your forehead for a whole
Brother,
stream.
anything you want. Okay, but first of all, we're gonna count each section as a point, right?
That just makes my blood boil thinking about it.
First of all, hey Vinny, we're gonna count each section as a point, right?
Okay. So best out of I guess best out of 3 in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can. Yeah. So I don't even know what I'll think about what I want because it's whatever. But I don't want to torture you enough because I really win most of the race. When I say most, I'm gonna say 99% of them. So it's up to you.
You know what that 1% is?
It could be you.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what a freaky Sagat look like.
Fine.
All right. So chat. Hello. Welcome. Hope everybody's having a good night. We missed you. I missed him. That big old head of his. And as usual, here are the topics for today's stream. We got Capcom Showcase, Topanga League standings going into the final stage. The World Warriors that have occurred in the past 2 weeks. Book of the week, Q&A, and then we conclude. Okay, so let us begin with. Let me just say this right now, bro. I don't know what it is about people that like they're just not used to people having differing opinions. I thought the Capcom Showcase was disappointing as fuck. Okay, I just thought it was, and for many reasons. All right, like of course the Sagat August 5th was whack, but I thought they'd show something of on top of that, right? I don't care that he's Paul Bunyan and he fucking lunges a tree around and swings it like he's Conan. I don't give a shit about that. And then they had the audacity. We asked for costumes and they removed costumes and they're charging us for these swimsuit outfits, which I think...
Okay, first wait. So how did you know people are getting mad about your opinion about not liking the Capcom?
Go look at my YouTube video, and it's flooded with people calling me. I was called gay because I don't like the swimsuit models, like the outfits or whatever. I was like, what? Somebody told me I need to go touch some grass, which is ironic because costumes are digital. They're not real. You want me to touch digital grass? And then somebody was like, how are you complaining about titties and ass? And I was like, this is a guy who's never had titties and ass, because how would you ever say that to me about something that's digital? But yeah, so there's a lot of just fucking comments like that, and that's what usually happens with reaction videos, because you're reaching into an audience outside of your normal one, which is what happens. I was prepared for this. I've already experienced this shit before. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So the reason why I'm saying that is because like I think how do they get mad about your take? Like it's your take. They could have their own opinion about it.
Right.
It's okay. Right. Everybody can have their own opinions about things, and that's fine. But like I don't think they got bad. Maybe they're just sharing their take on. But like I think that though, in my opinion, from my side at least, it looked. I mean the whole presentation. I didn't get to like watch it when it was live, but when I actually checked it out, it was very lackluster. There's really nothing that I was looking forward to, like that I heard that somebody announced. I was like, I wanted to check out the Sagat gameplay, but obviously there was 2 seconds. But when it comes to the costumes, I could give no fucks about costumes, right? Because we dealt with that with Street Fighter 5 already. These costumes with Chun-Li, right? Chun-Li and Minot, like Cammy, got every goddamn costume known to man, right? Like remember that when Chun-Li has 21 costumes?
True.
21 costumes, bro?
Yeah, she had like variations of like McDonald's employee outfits and then like a Burger King one, and I was like, what the fuck?
Insane. Yeah, that she was crazy. So to me, it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck about the costumes. Yeah, so I'm not happy about the costumes at all. But yeah, so that showcase, it was one of the worst showcases because I was really expecting for like news about Marvel. I was looking for like Sagat gameplay, more of it. I was looking for like maybe they announced something about like maybe even show some Sea Viper stuff, right? Maybe this is a showcase, right? But nothing happened. I saw some Monster Hunter and some other nonsense that I give no fucks about, because I only care about fighting games. So yeah,
they showed the Battle Pass stuff, I guess.
Battle Pass.
Yeah, they showed like the animated like fight versus intro. The fucking Battle Pass. They had the Sagat skins, stuff like that. You didn't see it?
What do you mean by that?
The Battle Pass, like the you know how they do like the avatar costumes in the battle pass? Like there's like a battle pass, like a, I don't know what the fuck they call that shit. I'm pretty sure it's a battle pass. Where you buy it, you pay for it, and it gives you like avatar costumes and accessories and shit like that, and like like different titles and emblems.
Like in the battle hub stuff.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
Know that. I don't enter in battle hub, so I would not know.
Yeah, it's that. But then they also had stuff for like that we could use too. Like you know how when a match loads up and you have the customizable loading screen, like stuff like that.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, I saw that one. That's nice. Yes.
So they had stuff like that. That stuff's cool. You know, it's just my biggest beef is like I just don't understand how we wait almost 2 years for costumes, and those are the costumes we got. That's mad troll. That's super troll. And they even said
that they're still working on the other costumes, right? Which is actually nuts.
That's scary because what do the other costumes look like?
I do not know. What if there's like, imagine if they can't be all about like, summer, right? Like it can't be like a bunch of like bathing suits, right? It doesn't make sense. Like for you to wait for the whole cast, right? Right. So what I can see is like if they're doing that for 7 characters, they're doing like 7 like summer, whatever. And then it could be the next one will be Christmas, right? The holidays, but that would not be those 7 characters already received that, basically. Right? So it could be like who would be in this 7 and the other one? It would be like Ryu, Ken, Guile, right? Kind of like that. Because who else would be marketable? I guess like they put Jury there too.
Yeah, they might have repeat, but yeah, that's gonna be rough.
How about the others not having any costumes?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, right? Yeah.
Do they? Oh, I don't know. That's tricky. Maybe they bundle them up, like they have popular characters in one batch with like characters that are likely not gonna sell, and then they split them across evenly. Because if they do not do that, I don't see like a Lily. Lily. What's another one?
Lily Dawson, they don't really sell costumes.
They're not gonna sell costumes like that, right?
Like that in previous games, it's always been the case. Like so, they don't really get a lot of costumes. But I'm saying, but they do get costumes, but not as much, right? Like for instance, like the Camis and the Chun-Li's, they have 21 or 20 plus in Street Fighter 5, right? Dawson had 3, not counting the story. We don't count a story.
Yeah, I don't count stories.
Right. Okay. So like, but they also had the Halloween and the other stuff, and then the other color, right? So 3, and then like Chun-Li, Ryu, they got like the Red Bull, they got all this other stuff, right? So that makes sense. But in this one, since we don't really have any content getting pushed to the game, so it can't just be nothing on the other side, and like everything to Chun-Li, right, or Cammy, right? I can't see it being that case.
Right. Hopefully,
Jury does have a new one, right? What did they announce about that? What some
like
K-pop stuff?
Yeah, K-pop. It looks pretty cool. She got shoes on, so I know people are gonna be mad about that.
No, wait a minute. How does that work? Is it also a costume that you can buy or something?
Yeah, it's like $10 or something like that.
I swear to God, imagine that they have somebody with an actual common sense working there. They'll be like, guys, look, you want us to print some money? Let's just create some bunch of costumes. Let's hire maybe 7 artists and let's pay them top dollar, right? Because it doesn't matter. We have sold the fucking game for 5 million copies, right? Right? So I'm pretty sure 1 million of them will buy some costumes. By the way, I'm being like modest here, but when it comes like only 1 million, it's not 20% are gonna buy, right? I'm pretty sure maybe 60% of people who bought the game will gonna buy some damn stupid costumes.
You think so? I don't think. I think it would be like.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think it would be like 8%, 8 to 10%.
8%?
Yeah. I'd say like 8 to 10%.
Okay, the majority of the people that's playing the game, they are mostly Ken, Cammy, Jury, Chun-Li, Ryu, like kind of those characters, right? Those kind of characters. Those are the characters, right? So that's like a huge portion of the game are playing those. Those guys are buying costumes. They're already over 50% of the game. Those characters I'm talking about. As far as the player base.
Yeah.
Those guys buying.
But a lot of the people that like out of that 5 million that have bought it, you could say like a good percentage of them are like the common folk who buy the hype, right? When the game just first launches, or they come across.
More likely they buy costumes.
I don't think they'll buy costumes
because they're more casuals. Because I don't care about costumes.
No,
I don't care about
but
costumes at all.
I think the in betweeners are the ones that are going to be the ones that it starts at as the threshold. Like a brand new player that's like not really balls deep into the scene, like casually or competitively. They're just buying it because they came across it. Maybe they're bored. They're not gonna buy it, right? Because they don't have any attachment to the game.
I'm telling you right now, those fucking creatures. I can't see 8%. That's like, brother, you're talking about fighting games here. Okay, how about the my players? The my players ain't buying no fucking my costumes with the fucking debating suits. What do you think about that? I'm pretty sure the 99% of those motherfuckers are buying.
Even if it's not her character?
I'm talking about the my players. The my
like if
players.
Mai gets one, you're saying?
Yeah. And Mai will get some.
Yeah, she'll get one. She'll 100%. It's inevitable.
So those guys are gonna buy costumes, and then when they buy costumes, when they release costumes, like I'm just saying, like if those guys really like want to get some results, right? They hire some artists to make those things. Brother, if a modder can create costumes for the game with ease and they're fucking nice, I'm pretty sure they can get like 7 real ones to do that.
But I don't think it's the problem is the quality, bro. I think it's just they're probably making so much more money off of Battle Hub that they're like, there's no point of putting any resources towards, you know.
You're talking about a company with a bunch of shareholders. There's never like too much money.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're definitely profiting more off of these avatars and Battle Hub features than they are on the other side.
As much as the fucking costumes.
But that's a resource that's taken away from them doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. Personally, I'm selfish. I'm like,
how to prioritize shit.
But they are prioritizing. They're prioritizing the money. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? It's not like the pride of the design of the game or the community. I don't give a fuck about that.
I wasn't talking about the design, brother, or the pride. I'm talking about if they really want money, they gonna make some fucking my costumes, some Chun-Li costumes, some fucking jewelry.
That's what I'm telling you, Champ. It's like you're like stepping over $1 to pick up like pennies at that point. You know what I'm saying? They're probably making so much bank, bro, off of microtransactions. Can you
spend actual real money in Battle Hub?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, with the fighter coins.
What can you buy with fighter coins aside from actual costumes that's out there? Like Battle Hub customizations, kind of like those things.
Like the avatar shit, yeah, or the stuff that I think you would use in the battle passes.
That's not good because first of all, the amount of players playing there and give a fuck about some avatar versus the actual people playing the game.
Yeah, but I think there's more of those guys than there are of us though at this point.
Huh?
I think there's more casuals than there are the. Not even you don't even have to say hardcore. I'm just saying like people that are even exposed to competitive.
Definitely more casuals nowadays. Yeah, for sure. It is actually the game is like the most popular fighting game at the moment.
Even more than Tekken?
Yeah.
Damn.
For sure. Especially in Asia. Like that's not close. It's not a close battle. You can't say like any other fighting game and then say any other fighting game in Asia doesn't it is nothing compared to Street Fighter. I'm just talking primarily Asia.
Yeah. So
obviously, USA we have like more variety. We kind of like play more fighting games, I would say. But like overall in the world, like nothing's bigger than Street Fighter.
Yeah. See, they're doing it right. Then they're doing it right, man. They're doing it right. It's just obviously like we want more stuff catered to our side of the game experience, but in terms of making money, bro, they're making a killing, bro. It is what it is. Like. It was pretty obvious and apparent once they did the 4 characters a year release, and it took them this long.
Actually, I didn't expect that one too.
Yeah,
like, I can't believe like, what do you mean 4 characters? What the fuck are we smoking here? Like, is Street Fighter 5 or 6 characters?
Right,
6 characters.
Yep.
You know, if you look at every season, it's 6 characters, right? And then they release a character every 2 months.
Bro, that means that at the end of season 4, we're gonna be 8 characters behind.
I mean, we're not behind necessarily because that's their design.
No, but I'm saying like that's like in terms of what could have been, we'd be 8 total characters vacant.
I think I need to find
that's
that
crazy.
They said, like this game would have more characters than Street Fighter 5. It's like some they said something like that, more characters. So that's why my expectations was like that. Let's say it goes 6, but then again, Street Fighter 5 kind of got delayed because of the pandemic, you know, because they lost like 2.5 years, right, due to the pandemic. That's why they're only releasing a character, you know, etc. So I think like in this one, I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like. I think this game is for sure 8-year game.
Really?
If Street Fighter 5, who had a shitty start, was 7.5 years.
Yeah, but they had to stretch that bitch because of the pandemic. Remember that?
Okay, so I'm saying, okay, no pandemic. Like at 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, 5 to 6. Yeah.
Right, Kawano was EVOChamp like what 2022. Okay, and then like 2020, obviously we didn't have it, but they still released a few content here and there. We had the Luke, whatever, but like aside from that, if you think about it, they have like what the 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, then 20 and 21 is basically a wash, and then 2022. So like 6 years, 6 years, I guess. Right? If that's 6 years, I think this game would be 7 to 8 year game.
Possible, yeah. Especially with how much success it's receiving so far, for sure.
I do think my take on this, I forgot to tell you. Like, I think this is the hardest Street Fighter.
The hardest Street Fighter in terms of what?
I'm not talking about execution, okay?
Right.
Because that's also a part of like what makes a fighting game difficult, right? But I'm talking like just a sheer number of competition, and also the amount it requires to actually to play, the amount of attention you have to, because like there's a lot of easy stuff that's happening, right? A lot of easy shit that motherfuckers can do, right? Obviously, you could be significantly better, but the motherfucker gets their set play on you, you're dead, right? For the game. And obviously, you're not judged for one game, but still, like, it's the hardest one because you have to be so consistent about those things. Constantly check them, right? So, like, I think it's the hardest when it comes to that. Because, like, in other games in the past, you don't need to worry about their nonsense set play because it's not easy to hit somebody.
I think difficulty, it's
and it'll fucking kill you. You know?
I think difficulty definitely, it like shifts in molds, like when you compare eras of fighting games. So like fighting games nowadays, because the damage is so high, there's less interactions, which means that the players that are more legacy based players, or rely on those type of skills of learning an opponent over the course of a set, it's going to be a little bit trickier for them. They still have the advantage, obviously, because they have all of the experience, but it does tilt things a little bit more level in a sense where execution is so much easier, damage is so much higher, and forced interactions are so much more common. And that's why there's more possibility for variance. But of course,
so very high variance, actually.
Yeah, so that it makes sense why you'd say that. I can agree with that, why it would be really fucking hard. Like,
that's why it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to play the fighting game, sure. Like, but I guess like when you
To
say
win.
like, when you say the game is easy, okay, how do you judge it? Like, are you talking about just to play the game, right? To play the game, yeah, okay. But like, I'm talking like to win or to beat people up. Like if it's just talking about just one instance, then yeah, I guess it's easy. But I'm talking about to do it consistently, to constantly check drivers, to constantly anti-air, to constantly cross-cut, to constantly whiff punish, to constantly do all of that. In the same time, you're always in danger that this guy can really scrub you out. And you're dead, right? Because that play is so easy. It's so accessible. That play is so easy. Mind you, you can even do that kind of set play in Street Fighter 4 because they need to know how to frame kill. They need to know how to do one frame links, into knockdown, into micro walk, into jump. Right, they have to do all of that stuff to get a chance to set play a pro, right? But in this one, they just get knockdown, grab, dash, drive rush, and overhead low kind of grab, and repeat, and then CA and then dead, right? But I'm not complaining. I don't really care about whatever the fighting game is. I play fighting games. I love fighting games. I don't really mind. But I'm just saying that's why I said it's hard.
That makes sense.
Because it's hard to be consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, and just because it's hard doesn't mean it's the most skillful. It's just challenging. Right, like it's
it's the most challenging. That's why it's difficult.
That makes sense. I can agree with that, especially because on top of that, there's the other things, right? Like everything's so accessible. You could watch. I could literally just look up any of these players and watch what they just did 5 minutes ago in a match. Like so. There's a lot of opportunities to learn people and stuff like that going into brackets, right?
I like that. Yeah, I like people when they learn and they improve that way. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I could agree with you on that for sure. It's a different beast, man, and it's like from era to era, genre, title to title. Like you were saying a couple weeks ago, like every Street Fighter game is so different from the last, But then on top of that, but the thing is like from Street Fighter 2 to 4, they were very similar. They were like in a sense of like for example, execution was still a thing, right? I think going from 4 to 5 was the most drastic change out of any of the Street Fighters.
No, 3 to 4 was drastic as fuck.
Street Fighter 3 to 4?
Yes. What are we talking about?
Nah, I don't think 3 to 4 was more drastic than 4 to 5, man.
Brother, Street Fighter 3 is not even the same kind of fighting game compared to 4. Both are great on their own right, but a third strike player, that's why a third strike player only cannot actually play the 4s, and the 4s cannot really play 3. Can you imagine that? They can't, because that's a totally different fucking fighting game. You get to jump around and shit. Empty jump, parry. Empty jump, jump. A lot of jumping to parry. That's like a totally different fighting game. Totally different kind of Street Fighter. If you say Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 4, you know how like those people were hating on Street Fighter 4 before? Oh my god, you can just mash DP, right? Because before you could mash DP. Execution is just different in 4. Because they have one frame links and shit. So that's why it's hard in that sense. But to execute something that's a simple move, they made it easier. And then like they don't have like the ultras, obviously it's not that strong. But then we have like FADCs, which is like, you know, it reduces the risk of somebody doing uppercuts, you know, in those games. So that's why it was deemed like weird before. Yeah, but like that's like different as fuck, brother. Street Fighter 2 is like different because they don't even have dash in that one. They have walk only. You can't get around fireballs like that, dude. You have to only jump. Think about that. How do you get around fireballs in the game with no dash?
True. But I still think 4 to 5 was more drastic than 3 to 4. Namely because the win condition of chip kill not being a thing was insane.
Insane.
V trigger was that reward. Like, so people were complaining, like some of the OGs, about ultras in 4, right? Because, you know, like it's a comeback mechanic, but you had to land the ultra. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't rewarding.
Ultra's not even that good. Ultra's not even good in Street Fighter 4.
There were some that were good though. There were some that were good, right?
Not like, okay.
Raging
when I say
Demon.
like, how often do you land a CA? Okay, which you have to kind of like build, like right in the Street Fighter 6, right, or 5, for instance, like a super, right, compared to an ultra. How many times have you seen a round end or a game end when both players did not even get to use their ultra?
Right.
Like, right, because it's really hard to land it. It's hard to land it. That's why if you land it raw, it does so much damage.
True.
If you somehow land it raw. And even the Raging Demon, it's not like you could jump it on reaction. It's a punish ultra, right? You have to kind of like you could do sweep it Akuma. If they focus it, then you could cancel it, right? That's basically the only thing to kind of land it.
Right.
You're never gonna land them things, brother. Like, you know, so it's like that. But like fighting games are all different in a sense, you know? And like that's why I'm pretty open with like playing a new fighting game all the time, because I don't really compare them from the previous. I treat every fighting game as if it's in their own.
I have one more thing. Yeah. One more thing too, or why I say it was drastic is because like defensively, going from 4 to 5, defense was changed significantly.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
That's
like no invincible backdash. Granted, that wasn't a thing in previous Street Fighters, right? But I'm just saying, like in terms of the sheer amount of defensive options that you had, and then in 5 they just did away with that, and then fucking throw loops being a thing, and you know, V trigger also being a thing, and then gray damage being a thing. It was just, I just think 4 to 5 was just so insane, man.
2, the third, the Alpha series, all those ones, they don't have defense like that.
Yeah, but you had meterless reversals though. They didn't have that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that in 5 also.
Meterless.
Yeah, so that was also another.
Reversal. Or like V reversal.
That could get option selected, and
that's
fucking.
That's obviously a situation, because like that's like its own Street Fighter, you know. It's actually became more pure in that sense. Like, but I agree with you saying that it's so drastic also, but I don't think you could get any more drastic than, because like let's say you have a fireball game in Street Fighter 4. Okay, you can play Street Fighter 5 no problem with fireball game. Replace Sagat, no problem. Copy paste. You can survive.
I don't think so, because the amount of.
Let me finish. Let me finish. If you have fireball game in 4, you go to Street Fighter 3. Good luck with that one. It doesn't work.
Because of parry.
Why Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4 is like the biggest. Yeah, it's like so different from everything. there's not a lot of you cannot just translate a bunch of shit like in that one. That's like so different, you know.
That makes sense. That's true. But then also, caveat on that, 5 there were so many anti-fireball moves that were 2 buttons.
And there's no chip kill. That's
and there was no chip kill, right? So it's like the win. There was so many things that changed, man.
You can still throw fireballs in Sagat.
Yeah.
You can still throw fireballs in those.
Yeah.
But that game was designed to make sure that
But they nerfed things, remember? They nerfed shit towards like the anti-fireball stuff. They nerfed it towards the later years.
Yes, and that's what they're supposed to do to every Street Fighter. The later parts of the later patches for those games is gonna gear towards the hardcore. So they're gonna make it less random because like the people that's like just got into that game, it's either they left the game or they got them better already to the point that now let's make the easy stuff.
They don't have to rely on it anymore. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Hey, Hamad.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of like what they're gonna do in the future changes, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, we talked about everything with that. I will say Jamie's outfit is pretty fire, and Aki's is pretty cool.
Aki's is probably the best.
I think Jamie's gonna look the best in action though, but we'll see.
But I don't really care about the costume, but yeah.
But I just wanted to say that. But I still think that shit is trash. But anyways, all right. So, Topanga League Championship. Let's talk about it, Champ. I know Champ loves him some Asian gameplay. So,
yes.
If you guys have been under a rock, Topanga League Championship has been going on in the heart and soul of Japan, Tokyo. All right. So, basically, it's been divided into like this 2-month long journey of, you know, how many players? It was like at least like 50 players that were involved, right? Or some crazy shit. In multiple brackets and qualifiers and stuff like that.
Well, no. They started off doing the online qualifier, right? And then they gave the people who placed high, like the top 3 or top 5, whatever, of last year's Topanga, they seeded them to already be qualified for the next round. Okay, so then they did like a round robin. They did like a first 3 round robin, like an 8-man, 2 groups. It's called the B League, right? And then the top 3 for each side and the 4th place of each side of those 2 groups qualify for the next like league, which is the A League. Okay? In the B League, they had Torimeshi, Higuchi, Bonchan, Shuto, Sako, Tokido, Futago, I do not know his name, and then Daigo and Tachikawa. So actually this is 9 players in the red division of the B League, okay? And then they have the blue division of the B League, which is the other side, which is Junior, the Manon player, Yamaguchi, Owe-chan, which is the Chun-Li, and then Fujimura, Yanai, Mago, Mizuha, and John Takeuchi, right? So the top three for the other side, and then the 4th place all qualified to go to the next one. Okay, so who qualified there was like Torimeshi, Higuchi, Bonchan, Shuto, Junior, Aku Tagawa, the Manon, then Yamaguchi, and Owe-chan. So Shuto, which is the 4th place, and Owe-chan is the 4th place on both sides. They had to play a first 3. Owe-chan beating Shuto in that one because that's a tiebreaker, right? So now 7 players qualified to go to the A League.
Okay.
So now the A League becomes super stacked, right? So the A League, now the other players from the previous joins them. So now they have Fudo, Bonchan, Moke, Hikosa, which is a Ryu player now, Gachikun, Kawano, Ryukichi, and Higuchi in one division. Okay? And then the other division of the A League, they got Kakeru, Torimeshi, Yamaguchi, the Manon player, Akutagawa, Momochi, Hikaru, Kobayan. Owe-chan changed his name to Seiya. I don't know why. And then Junior. So that's like, basically a 9-man round robin for both sides. And then you're going to play, obviously 8 matches. And then same format also. The top three from the other side, and the 4th place play it out, right? And so who qualified was Fudo, Bonchan, Moke, right, from the other side, and then Kakeru, Torimeshi, Yamaguchi. And then the 4th place is between Hibiki and the Manon player. They actually did a special stream for that. When the Hibiki and Akutagawa had to play a 1st to 7. To qualify to get to the offline finals. And Hibiki beat the Manon player 7-2. Yeah. So now you get the finals between Kakeru, Torimeshi, Yamaguchi, Fudo, Bonchan, Moke, and Hibiki, which is going to be a first to 7, win by 2, maximum of first to 10, basically. Right? Win by 2. Round robin.
Right. So I'm screen sharing it for the folks in the chat. So this is what it is right here. Champ just mentioned it. And when does it start? You said like July, was it like
July
the 11th?
11th to 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, July 11th to 13th. So that's going to be like pretty nice.
Nice. And this is all first to 7, right?
Yeah, first to 7.
Is it win by 2?
Them last year. Yes, win by 2. First to 7. The first to 7 win by 2, max of first to 10, basically.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a special rule about if let's say in the finals, if let's say the top 2, do they have to play a special set, or because that's the problem with round robin, right? They don't have a good ending because you could see already who's like dominating and who isn't. And now it's hard to plan for the finals, like the actual final game, the final set, right? So last time it was like, okay, this player can only lose 2 games or else he's gonna lose regardless. So now he's in behind, you know. So, but I don't think they have a special rule like that. I think like they're just gonna play it out for 3 days straight. But I think the way it looks though, it's looking like Kakeru is gonna win this one.
Yeah, he was dominant. He only lost 1 set in the last division, right?
Yeah.
And who was that to?
He lost to. I'm not sure who beat him. I think Hikaru. Hikaru beat him.
Oh shit.
The Aki player. Yeah. But that was really close. But I'm saying like I don't think anybody gonna beat Kakeru here. If ever, it will just be Bonchan because Akuma is the best character to beat JP. But I don't know exactly who's gonna. I guess Fudo can win this too. But aside from that, I can't see anybody else winning. Like it was a great bracket for the Dawson player too. For like the A League, it was really nice. like that's like the dream bracket for Dawson. You have 2 Zangiefs, you got a Lily, you got Aki, like you got Chun-Li. Like every good matchup, you know, in the menu, right? It's like there.
No camis, like
no camis, nothing. And then you got Eds as well, which you fucking kill. Like so, it's like the best. But like the thing is, like now in the finals, like you got Lily, which is a free point for everybody. Moke, for sure. Come on. Real shit. Like, regardless how good Hibiki is, it's a long set too. It's not like Hibiki's good long sets. Like, but I think Bonchan is gonna be great. I think Bonchan, Fudo, and Kakeru are like obviously gonna win this one. But I think Kakeru is gonna be heavily favored in this situation. Yeah,
I agree. I think Torimeshi he'll probably be middle of the pack, my opinion. I do think that he did get favored from the division luck.
That happens to anybody. You can get unlucky in the bracket. You can also get lucky in the bracket, you know? That's the luck of the draw. Nobody's, you just gotta show up and do your thing.
Yeah. But he was playing, he was playing exactly how he was supposed to be playing, right? But when I watched him play against Kakeru, I was like, oh yeah, you could just feel the gap between the players. Because that matchup, in my opinion, I think it's even or even slightly Dawson's favor. But
no, it's not.
You don't think so?
Brother, I was in Asia, brother. I played with Kakeru, with DCQ, with VXBOW, all the JPs in Japan on a daily basis. So when I tell you about the matchup, brother, I don't think there's any Dawson out there could tell me about anything about that matchup.
So I'll tell you from my experience, right? I'll tell you from my experience.
Okay.
With Sim, I've smoked every JP that I've played from Asia. The only one I have not smoked is Kakeru.
Yeah.
But I have not played him since season.
You can't judge it off one situation. I'm talking like
you played them daily. I totally get that.
Yeah, like you gotta look at it in a situation. You're supposed to rush down JP with Dawson. Not rush down like going ham, but like you're supposed to corner him and fucking maul him that way. Okay, with a character that's not really known to be aggressive.
I don't agree. I don't think you have to rush him down though.
You're not rushing down like going all in, but you gotta box him out the whole time. You cannot win full screen. What are you gonna do full screen?
Well, if I play full screen, I think you threaten teleport and make him hesitate.
Yeah,
he can't commit.
Teleport, right?
No, you don't have to teleport.
You cannot react though to teleport, right? So, but you can also react on spikes. But if the one time you teleport, you die. That's their punish to your teleports. If you teleport, if you teleport, do you know they're punished now? It's fucking insane.
Yeah, because he gets fucking crouching strong into stand medium kick into
they towards roundhouse into the fucking moo. They become a cow and send you ass to the corner and you die. Yeah, like so I'm saying, like, you get a teleport. If you're throwing a teleport, eventually you're gonna have a teleport somewhere there, right? But then if you think about it, what does JP have to do though? If
he doesn't have to do anything for sure. But he can't.
There's also one situation there that's like the fucking departure, and they just chill with the departure also, and they didn't do anything as well, and that's hella annoying.
Yeah, but you can float above the departure.
Yeah, for sure. But then they just right before it explodes, they can throw another one there, and they don't have to do anything. They just watch you. Like that. The problem is like
you said right before they explodes, they throw another one.
Yeah, right when it explodes, like once it auto detonates, you just do another one as well and place it there.
Yeah, but see that's dangerous because then you can just randomly teleport on that.
Yeah, and what if they don't do that?
Well, if you don't do that, you could EX air comment it, and then you have the flexibility to pivot away, teleport away, or to threaten with a forward.
Okay, advancing. You know that you cannot react to there's actually a few nuances there that's so annoying now too. Like after certain knockdown, you're gonna do meaty fireball. This fucker's gonna do wake up fucking fake ghost. And mind you, there's a situation, there's a range where, like, you know how like JP can jump, but then you're waiting for the jump, so you're doing a lot of feints, and then this dude does the jump obviously and just does OD departure. You can't react to that one if you're trying to worry about the drive rush or a jump, and they just do OD departure. So
yeah, it's just mad fast. 40 frames.
Like it's mad fast. Yeah. It's mad fast in that situation, and your buttons that there just gonna press is what, like, you know. So there's a lot of things there that you have to think about as well. But also you don't have an easy win, but he does, because if he gets a one random jump in for whatever reason, he's just dead. It's a lot harder, like, to actually. But I'm not saying Dawson loses. I don't think he loses, because like I played Kakeru so many times. It scores like 10-9, 10-8, 10-9, like that. Okay, it's close for sure. And I'm sure you're right. Like I beat a lot of JPs out there. Like, but I mean, I play with them all the time. But then JP is like, bro, now they have some new tech, brother. It's different now. It's different. Yeah. But like, you know, but you see Torimeshi, I don't think he's gonna beat Kakeru for sure. You know, I can't see it.
I don't see it because I don't think Torimeshi's
ground game.
I don't think his strength is his zoning. I think in order for him to
have ground game,
it's for you to beat a Kakeru, you have to have elite zoning. You have to make him consider every fucking decision he makes. And I don't think Torimeshi does that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he does that too. Yeah, that's not his strength. He's gonna be jumping around, right?
Right.
Like I'm saying, like, but you need to have a strong ground game, right? So you dominate the ground, so you have the JP be jumping and hesitant, like, to do things, right? You have to just be in control. Yeah, but imagine that first to 7, you have to be in control, right? You know, kind of like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's very, very fun matchup. It's one of my favorite matchups for sure.
That matchup is fun as fuck.
Fun as fuck.
That shit is.
It's so unique too.
Yeah, it feels like so different compared to every other Street Fighter 6 match, which feels like drive rush, DRC, overhead, low mix. You know.
Yeah, for sure. That's like really different.
Yeah, like it can be annoying because once he gets level 2, it does feel like, oh god, it's Street Fighter 6 all over again. But at least up until that explosive point of the match, it feels like the neutral. It just feels like a chess game, and I don't think we experienced that in many matchups in this game.
No, you don't actually. There's not a lot of matchups like that in this game.
Yeah, I think movement plays a big part in it, because that's a large part of why Dawson JP is a chess match, because you both can move in such weird ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you can't be too far as Dawson too. You have to be close enough that you can harass him, but not too far, because you lose full screen. Right? Because the spikes is hella annoying. You know, the spikes. Yeah, that your only way is to threaten a teleport. Like, it's like that good.
So I have a question before we move on. What do you think of Fudo's Dawson? Because it looks kind of rusty.
Oh, he only played it for one day though, to try, because he's trying to because he wants to pick against Guile, but obviously he lost because he only played one game though. He just wanted to try because I don't think people knew about the backstory there. At Evo 2023, Fudo ran into Higuchi in the brackets, and Fudo picked Dawson to counterpick.
He beat Big Bird too. That same Evo.
Yeah,
with
but
Dawson.
Like I'm saying, like, yeah, so like the Dawson, but then after that one, he's done with, like, he didn't play Dawson anymore, right? You know, right? He went back to that, but this one he wanted to try because obviously he's trying to expand his roster, right? So now he's playing obviously Ed and DJ, and then he's playing Dawson a little bit on the side. But yeah, but I have no doubt that he can play Dawson, because Fudo's insane.
Agreed. I just think that's too close.
Counter picks. Yeah, like I'm saying, like obviously you have to start getting some experience. Like also when he fought like Higuchi was out already, and he's already qualified. There's no bearing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Like, but then after he lost, then he picked his main and then washed them. So it doesn't matter. But like I'm just saying, he can have a Dawson for like the Giles or the Zangiefs, right? He could do that, right? So he doesn't have to try.
Yeah, he's such a strategic player. Like he could just have one tool, aka a Dawson for a matchup. He's like, I don't want to deal with this shit, and
he can play mad basic too. He'll play mad
super
basic.
Okay. Not optimal.
All right, because that's the one that wins anyways. Our basics, right? It's not like how optimal you are, right? It's like you could be optimal, like not getting hit. How about that, right? That's better. That's more value than like being optimal when you hit your opponent, right? Like is more optimal. I guess like you get more value for not getting hit. Then so
I think my call to win it is Bonchan though. I do think that first to 7.
Yeah,
Bonchan was so dangerous, man.
If there's a person to beat Cocker, it will be Bonchan, because Akuma beats JP, right?
Yeah, and the way he plays that matchup is so precise, man. Yeah. He's so
that matchup is hard for JP. Very, very hard. That's his worst matchup for sure. JP versus Akuma.
So surgical against him.
That's for sure his worst matchup.
Because like obviously Akuma can just kind of like go ham, right, with like the aerial
jump
approach.
Around as well. Yeah, air approach so fucking hard, dude.
But then Bonchan's ground game is equally as fucking terrifying. So it's like you just get tell the JP's mentally spread thin. It's just like what the fuck.
It's like, what do you really do though? Like if you're JP there, right? Because like you can't commit to crouching fierce under jump in, because if you do the jump dive kick, you're dead. So now you're gonna try to air. Right? And now you want to air, jump towards air to air, but if he does jump fireball, he hits you, or a normal jump in, he hits you, or he does a demon flip palm, he hits you. So now you're okay, I'm gonna do towards roundhouse with JP, but then now that's like, if he does a jump in fierce or like any in that certain range, you're dead. You're gonna get hit before you get it out, because you can only basically counter half the jump ins depending what option you're using.
Right.
So, but the other half is gonna hit you, depending on what option you use. So, and then the reward is not in your favor, because he gets a full jumping combo, or you get like your 8% to 10% damage.
And Akuma just does so much damage too, man. It's like every mistake JP makes,
is annoying,
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's not like these other characters where they're just doing like nicks off of your health bar, right? And he can corner you pretty quickly, not as fast as I can, but his corner carry is pretty decent. So
with the new combo though, like he has really insane corner carry now. The new combo.
What is it?
It's like the 5 MP DRC, 2 MK DRC, 5 MP, right?
Oh, double Tatsu.
2 MP, 2 MP, 2 MP. Then the late cancel light Tatsu, then medium Tatsu. Yeah, that's the new combo. Yeah, that's an insane corner carry with insane Oki as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's the new combo.
All right. So next, let's talk about World Warriors. So we've had like probably like 8 or 9 World Warriors in the past like 2 weeks and some change. Obviously
I didn't get to watch all of them.
Yeah,
I just heard some on the news as well. I saw a few games of some others, but I didn't get to see everything. Yeah.
So the ones that stuck out to me are these 5 regions. Would be Midwest, the Middle East, US, North America Northeast region, right, which just happened last weekend. South America East, which is like Blaz's region, France. And also UK Ireland. That's the one I want to end off on. But let's start with the Midwest number 1 World Warrior. We got E.Honda.
Because obviously we're rooting for Ahmad all the time, So I was super happy for Ahmad for sure. Yeah, but I think he's always been a very strong player, anyways. So I wasn't really surprised if Ahmad wins that, But like I'm happy that he actually did win, So it's nice. That's nice,
Yeah, because he took it serious. He didn't. I don't think he really took the game serious until like this year. He was just kind of like playing it.
I was happy. I was really happy about that, actually.
This
is Ahmad,
Yeah.
He's a buddy, so That's nice. Nice to see that one.
You know, it's funny, when I was watching him, I could see why people say Honda would be a good fit for Fei Long players, because that wall style.
Yeah.
You know, I could see it.
Yeah.
But then he also has the little bursts of like Street Fighter 6 energy that he can throw out there to make you fucking panic.
Yeah, it does hella damage. It is hella damage.
Yeah.
Hella damage.
So
Yeah, I miss playing Honda actually.
he was doing pretty well. He beat Jack in winners and grand finals, I believe.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I know. I knew he beat Jack too, which is actually really sick.
Yeah, he beat Jack in winners semis, then he beat Stealth in winners finals, and then he beat Jack in the run back in grand finals. Dual Kevin lost to Harms, who's one of my students. I gotta claim. I gotta claim
that's
that.
Nice.
I gotta claim my boy.
That's nice.
I gotta claim my boy.
Wait, but who eliminated DK?
I don't know. He didn't make top 8, so I'm not sure.
That's so rare, right? That's so rare for Dual Kevin not to make it. He's so stable.
Yeah, and Big Bird didn't either.
I mean, that happens. You know, this with the first World Warrior, right? So that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why there's 5 of them, right? So at least they got some points. They'll be all right. Dual Kevin's still gonna qualify.
That's good.
He's still gonna somehow qualify anyways, whether it's online, off, right? So he's in the top 6.
Was Ramsey's Zangief? Oh, I mean, like the Zangief is not so bad, but it's hard for sure. It's definitely beats like Honda definitely loses to Zangief, but like beating JP was more impressive. Like
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if like Stealth plays that matchup like the the advanced way. You know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen Stealth play, but obviously Stealth's a pretty good player. So
he is.
I don't know how he
just didn't look comfortable. It looked like you know how
that match you have to play it slow.
You know how some players, they have like really strong like one size fits all strategies. Like I think you can't do that with certain characters, and Honda's one of them.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
You know, and I think he was trying to.
He just doesn't know the matchup because you have to play that slow, right? You have to play it slow. You should be okay blocking a 5 MP too. Because your take turn is more nastier. You take turn with fucking 5 HP.
Yeah, he was getting counter hit a lot. So I think he was too challengey, and then like he was trying to like engage a little too much, and then
you're supposed to be okay blocking there and not jump. Yeah,
and
because,
Honda
like,
does too much damage.
What can Honda really hit you with?
If he command grabs you, he gets no Oki.
Like but like I'm saying, like you just play that. Okay, I'm gonna stay here outside my 2 MK. You stay there. I'm gonna stay within your 5 MP, right? And then you guys just trade. Right? JP hits you with a stick, and some few 2 MKs, you're gonna just press 5 MP and a few headbutts, right? That's usually the battle, right? And then if I hit you, you send full screen, and then I will zone you. You can't really headbutt in there because he just puts departure if you headbutt.
Yeah, true.
You can't do that. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like that's how the matchup is played. It's really really difficult. But yeah,
that makes sense.
At least with like the other matchups, if Zangief or like Honda has to play footsies, then at least like you have whip punishing there. That would be more defined. In the Honda versus JP match, you can't necessarily like only have to play footsies because the JP will zone you and put some departures too. So it's like he has a lot of safe pressure against Honda. So
and butt slam, you can just air throw it, right? Like on reaction, like free, pretty much every time.
Or you just fucking block it. You just block it, like parry and then drive reversal. And then you get you get set up again.
Oh yeah, true. All right. As a zoner, that's what you want.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then if you get the perfect parry, even better, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
So that matchup is like so hard. I'd like played at like max, obviously with knowledge.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so then Middle East, we had Angry Bird winning over Fruit, grand finals.
Fruit is like a very strong Blanca for the UAE.
Used to be really good Sakura in Street Fighter 4, from what I remember.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think.
So what happened to Big Bird? First of all, before we talk about the grand finals.
Big Bird lost to GTR. Like he dropped.
GTR
like,
plays what? Ed?
I think he plays Ryu.
Ryu.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he plays a Shota, I'm pretty sure. And then I don't remember who else he lost to. I'm not too sure. Maybe somebody in chat could tell us, but yeah, I don't remember exactly who it was, but was it? No, I was gonna say Drinku, but no, it wasn't. Um, it wasn't Drinku. Drinku did get top 8 though with Jamie. So that's he's one of my favorite Jamies to watch. He's super fucking creative, and
That's
explosive play styles. Mad fun to watch. So yeah, Angry Bird wins that. South America East, Blaz wins with Jamie over Crime. Crime picked Zangief first couple games or whatever, and then he switched over to Ryu. I think that's just maybe like a counter pick thing, like Champ was telling me earlier. That's most likely what that was. You know?
Yeah. No, I'm saying like, so you said like, obviously, Primate does not want to play the shoulder mirror or shoulder match with Blaz, right? So he probably picked Zangief to give the Shoto some issues, right? And then Blaz probably doesn't like fighting Zangief with Shotos, so he counterpicked Zangief with Jamie. Do you think Jamie beats Zangief?
I think so. I think so for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
so too. I think most people that plays those characters would know that too as well. Okay, so yeah, so they get stuck there in that match, you know. But it shows their flexibility, right? In general.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing too.
Did he play Jamie the whole tournament?
Yeah, I think he did play him the entire tournament, the entire bracket.
Then why did the other dude play Zangief?
I don't know. I have no idea. It could just
that
be.
Doesn't make sense now.
It could just be.
I mean, he owns that region, so like obviously he has that confidence to just body everybody.
Yeah, because Crime told me. He told me that at CEO, he said that Blaz is like clearly the better player, right?
I mean, for sure.
So it could have just been like I know I own this region and I'm gonna just do whatever I want.
Yeah,
you know?
Whatever character he picks, right? Whatever character he picks is enough. You know,
yeah, pretty much.
Cook them, you know. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Judge?
So it's probably that, to be honest. But yeah. So Blaz wins that. France, Mr. Crimson wins over, I believe, Kusanagi Grand Finals. Was that what that was?
Yeah, it was a Dalsa versus Ryu match.
Ooh.
But then I was not necessarily surprised there, but Mr. Crimson's been winning the World Warriors since since the history, I feel like. He owns that region. Like that's Mr. Crimson's region. France, bro. So there will be a few times that somebody would be like, at the moment, would be the best player in France. But at the end of the day, Mr. Crimson will always be the best player in France.
Bro, Champ, there'll be moments where he looks vulnerable because it was a Cammy that came in the bracket. Literally every time. Remember, Lionheart did the same. He beat him, some of the losers, and then he lost him in grand finals of the top 8 regionals or whatever.
Like Mr. Crimson was busy because he just had a baby, right? You know, so he kind of took like a few months off, right? And now he's getting back to the swing of things.
Yeah.
So he was a bit inactive, you know, and now he's being more active, you know.
True.
So no question, like he's gonna be all right.
Yeah. I mean, the Dawson
surprise there. Plus, he's gonna beat Ryu for sure.
Yeah, Dawson buffs are pretty nice too. But the more I'm playing Sim, the more I'm liking him like a lot. Like a lot.
I need to play more Dawson. I don't really play Dawson.
Bro, the biggest change, in my opinion, is Blast Super mid screen. He gets so much damage, man.
That's nice. That is so good to do.
Oh, you know, I found if you delay down back, you know how like you go like, let's say you do like a drive rush punish, right, with down back fierce. You know how like if you're too far, you can't do like fierce into heavy blast super. You have to do like heavy blast. You have to do heavy super, not the medium one where he fans.
Yeah.
Right. But if you delay cancel down back fierce, the animation doesn't cancel far; it cancels closer, and then you're in range of the medium super. It's pretty sick. So you get a good chunk of extra damage out of that for like DP punishers.
I have a new way to play Dawson in theory.
Okay.
Which I'll tell you about later.
Okay. I have a theory too. I was talking to Mena about this. I was hanging out with Mena like last week. We had an offline session and we were bouncing ideas, and he was teaching me of this reverse zoning theory, which is so fire. I was like, oh shit. And I've been practicing like that, and it's pretty interesting. I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
There's no such thing as like, I mean, I can tell people about zoning, brother. I don't even like, do you see me like bother zoning as much? It's like a different kind of that. So when I tell you about boxing people, like boxing them, but not necessarily super aggressive, but like aggressive, like that range, that's it. That's the kind of like zoning that is more modern. in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, you're hinting at it, and I had a feeling because being reactionary. So I have like different categories of zoning, right? Like I have different styles, right? Like I have phantom style zoning. I have like a fucking footsie style. I have all sorts of different styles of zoning, and I think that the weakest style of zoning is for sure reactionary zoning. Now, it's by far the weakest. Meaning like you stay at a range and you wait for the big risk, right? I think it's better for you to commit to something and then you try to circumvent one of the risks while being prepared for the other, if you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's old school. That's why that doesn't work anymore. Like because you're supposed to have a certain way. Let's say you could be more. You shouldn't be more. You can't be too reactive. You have to also be proactive.
Mm.
But then let's say if you're doing a bunch of stuff in the ground, right? It shouldn't be so committing to the point that you are open into the easy one, like an easy jump or an
Yeah.
easy DI, right? Like so you have to also shut that down with something that's really efficient, like like a move that will option select both, kind
Right.
of like that,
Mm.
and then you can react from that point on. So like that's a more efficient way to zone in a sense.
Mm.
But that's like I always thought that was the correct way to zone. I never zoned the old school way.
Mm.
The old school zoning has always been trash because that one you don't know what the fuck is coming.
Right.
You're only doing raw reaction on every single attempt. Like that's bad. That's why the more like if you did the efficient way zoning, that works in every game that I played. When I try to do that, it works in every game because it's like you're once you know everything that can happen for the most part, then now when you get to that position, then you could just cut down whatever thing that can kill you, right? So sure, like all of them, a bunch of things can hit you, but only one thing can kill you. For instance, like okay, a full jumping combo would kill me in a DI, right? So now, but then like it would be okay if you just block a jump in, for instance, right? It would be okay. You wouldn't die. You might eat a mix up after you block a jump in. But then I'm pretty sure if you don't jump, if you just drive rush or you whiff something, I'm killing you though. It's kind of like that, right? But you give up the AA instead, but you increase your whiff punishes or your checks and your drive rush, and then you win that way. And now when you hit them, 2 out of the 3 instances you would win, right? And the third one, you wouldn't die. You just block.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like more efficient in a sense if you think about it.
And the game rewards you for playing like that because you're building meter more, you're draining meter more, right? And you're reducing the variance because you're occupying space. So that way there's less of a chance of like sudden bursts of risk being taken on the ground or wherever a hitbox is, they basically will not be able to go through it, right? Without some sort of fucking premeditated decision. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people just like they just guess when it comes to like dealing with zoning.
Yeah.
So it's like very easy to
That's
beat.
how you can kill them that way.
Right.
That's how if you play the modern way or that way. I keep calling it modern. I've been playing like that since the start. But like that way is like it just kills the crazies. It's an 100% like creature killer style. like that style. Yeah, because you would just give up one area, but then they can't kill you in that way. And then that means the game will just prolong, or you just kill them that way. If they pick the other 2 options instead. The zoning, yeah.
But you need a lot of awareness to fucking break past that too. Like if you're the one that's getting zoned out, right? You can't just like
if you're getting zoned out, you need to kind of like you need to do like something back to back random, or you could do something like be more super patient and walk me down instead.
Yeah.
But you have to play correctly. So now I will play a little bit. Let's say I need to push you away. So now I may need to kind of like throw a few extra heavy fireballs to push you away, or
EX, right, with the
heavy
buff.
normal. Yeah, or a heavy normal forever, something like that. And then that's the time that your jumping becomes more dangerous for me in a sense. Yeah, that's like if the zoner is not necessarily like ready for that.
That reminds me of the neutral. Remember the neutral jump thing you taught me when you was like you neutral jump, and then that influence from that. It's like the same thing, right? It's like they'd have to do the reverse of it, where they'd be like, you need to do this, but doing this gives me what I want.
Yeah.
Very smart. Okay, I like it.
That's like really fun to do those things. Really fun. But yeah, dude, I mean, like that's like I thought that has always been like I thought that was like normal zoning. But I really, it's like nobody really taught me zoning, even by my mentors, because they weren't really zoning like that. But then, so I thought that was supposed to be that way. But that's why I was able to do that across different games in a sense, because the requirement is that you need to have high awareness, right? So you need to know the engine of the game or the options or the frames or all that stuff to kind of do that. But yeah, that's the
Man.
best.
Give me goosebumps thinking of training with Sagat, bro. Fuck, man.
That's how you get it. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh
You
my
just play Sagat that
God.
way. It's more efficient instead of like you put them in spots where like they can only jump, but then what if they don't jump? What do happen? You just pause there? No, you're still gonna throw the tiger shot. But then now you have to think about the perfect parry. So now you need to come up with strings with like with the perfect parries on like, are you safe there if they do perfect parry? Let's say you do like, if you do tiger shot, a low shot in that particular range, and then you throw another one. If they jump, do they hit you? Right? If they perfect parry the low shot, the slow, the light low shot, right? Right. So you have to know that. Okay. What if they do perfect parry the high low shot, and then you throw a
low into high, high into low?
Yeah. But if they jump, is that safe on perfect parry jumps? Right. Okay. So you have to cross that out in a sense. So those things, those are the real fun ones.
Bro, when I was playing 5, I would have slow, like I'd have a chart for like slow into so slow low into fast, like low, or slow low into high fast, or slow high into, I would like all of these combinations, and I was like, okay, so these are the ones that are real, these ones aren't.
That's before, but like then I noticed it doesn't really matter what's the next one. It only matters what's the first one you threw.
That's true, right? To simplify it, yeah, that makes sense, because the advantage
you just do it that way.
will protect you.
The advantage is the one what changes, right? I guess like it would matter.
It matters if you're trying to hit them, though. If you try to hit them, the second one matters more. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, because they're gonna hit them because that could micro walk check them.
Yeah, so it becomes a fucking sexy fucking world of proper. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Is it like a low shot, then fast high shot? That will recover faster. But they were talking about the jump in. So obviously, if you're in the high shot, you're like taller, so the jump in will hit you way faster than if you're crouching. So that's like a pretty good thing to know for Sagat the first time when the character comes out. That's the first thing I gotta check first. And then now you can spam tiger shots because if you know the data, And then like how much recovery does the OD like how less of a recovery OD has in the startup too, because that matters, because you could throw that out in those pockets there.
Right.
Like they can have a high success rate of perfect parry, right? And that's like a perfect parry like killer in a sense. Because even if you perfect parry twice the OD shot, doesn't matter, he's still advantage.
Right.
And then he get to throw another one. So like knowing those things matters a lot.
So my theory is it's gonna be 2 frame. It's gonna be like 2 frames faster on the EX versions, and then an additional 2 frames faster overall for high to low.
The tiger shot. You said like it's 13.
Yeah, I think regular is 13.
I think it's 13 and 12 to be honest.
It's 13 and 12. But I'm saying EX. I think EX is gonna be 2 frames faster.
So it would 10 frame OD?
I think OD is gonna be 11.
I don't think so.
I think it's gonna be 11.
11?
Yeah.
11?
I think it's gonna be 11. I think it's gonna be 11.
And also, how can we be so sure that there's only one OD fireball? What if there's like an OD high shot and an OD low shot?
Oh, well, that's what I was talking about. Is the 2 frame, the 2 frames would be startup, but from low to high, because high is always faster.
Yeah.
They would make that an extra 2 frames faster overall, like recovery wise.
Faster recovery, not startup, right? Faster
no, just recovery. Yeah.
Yeah, recovery. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah,
because then that would be 4 total removed from the entire thing. I can't wait, bruh. So close.
I think his combos are gonna be like simple too, because his Sagat never had like the crazier combos, like in general. But just like looking at him, like I thought when I saw the tiger knee part, I was like, damn, he hit so early because that's on the way up. So obviously he has 2 hit boxes for it, right? So does that mean like how late can you hit the later parts of the hitbox of the landing tiger knee, right? Because that's gonna be the determining factor of how plus it could be, right? You're gonna have some setups where like you do like low shot then you do dash and then do like the high shot. For instance, they're like in the corner, and then you do like medium tiger knee, and the medium tiger knee would hit there, and it would be plus. Like well, after they block that, right? You know, they were plus, but like how plus are we? Like +2, +3, you know, like kind of like that, because that can happen with this engine, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, think about this. Like, damn, you have the tiger knee. It did like, you know what thing they didn't show is the 5LK. Because the 5LK of Sagat would not be 5 frames for sure, because that shit will be nasty if he has 5 frame fucking standing light kick. Sagat, that would be criminal to give him.
What if that's his 4 frame?
What are we talking about?
They might make that his 4 frame, and then they might give him a command normal instead. You know what I'm saying? So they make it stubby, like his stand light kick is stubby, but then he has a command normal. They're probably gonna do something weird like that. You know what I'm saying?
The command normal is the step kick. It's a step kick light.
No, but I'm saying they could give him a like a forward light kick version, like it's a command normal, and then the step kick could be forward medium kick. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm talking about the standing light kick. That's the normal one, kind of like what Ryu has.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they could make his regular standing light kick a stubby button, like a fucking Rashid, right? Like a light, and then
how would they do that?
Why? Because they've been doing weird shit like that with command normals. They've been doing weird. Look, in Street Fighter 5, right? His fucking his step kick was changed from forward light kick to forward medium kick, right? So
yes.
they're open to doing weird shit like that.
Then he'll be trash.
Bro, anything's possible. Did you see what they did to him in 5? Nothing is off the table.
If you're really the designer of anything about fighting game related, it will be the worst.
No, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't want them to do that. I'm just saying
I know
this is what they would probably do.
But what would they do with their jabs for?
Because they don't give a fuck.
Their 4 frame is their kicks. Why would they do that?
Bro, because they're fucking weird.
Has a 4 frame fucking 5LK except for Rashid and fucking Lily.
Aki? Isn't Aki's 4?
No.
Or is it 5? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Aki will be crouching jab. I guess actually, you know what? Aki's new. Yeah, actually, you know what? The light kick of Aki is 4 frame. That's the new buff, right? From the last patch. That's right. Yeah, aside from that one, so it would not be common, especially for a Shoto.
I'm telling you, they're gonna do something weird, man. I do think that Angry Scar DP that he did in the trailer is. I feel like there's something. Remember what I said? I was like, yo, what if they make him have DPs like Cammy? Where like he doesn't have Angry Scar, but he charges DP, and he did that shit in the trailer. He like charged
the DP. That would be so good.
Did you see that? Like he charged it, and then it was glowing orange, and then
you don't want the normal. He has to like do an install, like kind of like charge, kind of like a Denjin charge for the Angry Scar. You don't think that you don't want? Do you want that?
I'd rather.
That's really what I like. I'd rather have that.
I'd rather have the I'd rather have Angry Scar, but I feel like they're gonna make it like a part of the DP. You know what I'm saying?
What would be the difference if you hit somebody with the Angry Scar DV?
Not really a difference. It's like more so how you set it up, because it's probably gonna be so like committal, like Cammy's. Like you don't really see Cammy commit to it, right? So they'll probably make it so it's like a combo thing.
Brother,
like
imagine that if you can charge that DP, right? But then you can dash cancel if they don't jump. Kind of like how Kill Rush.
Oh, that would be fucking sick.
Brother, that would be sick, right? That would be a good design.
That would be fucking sick. But that's too good. They're not gonna do it.
Hold, dash. It wouldn't be too good. It's the same.
No, that'd be too good. I'm saying it's too clever. They ain't gonna do that shit.
Yeah, it would just be fancy, but it's not like OP because it's the same.
That's too cool, bro. They're not gonna do that shit.
Or no jump, right? It's not their control, anyways.
You're thinking too cool, bro. They're gonna make them fucking basic.
I do think though, if he's like the Sagat that we know how Sagat is played, he destroys like the new players.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like pro play Sagat.
I want my scrub character.
New players.
My scrub killer.
That's like 100% scrub killer for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna just be sleeping with my eyes closed in fucking pools.
And I will be pissed if he does not destroy Ryu.
That would be so disappointing.
If he does not destroy Ryu, that's not Sagat. Like when Ryu sees a guy, he should call him daddy. You know?
Ever since he gave him that scar, he's like,
fucking Christ,
karma.
Brother. Like Ryu should get destroyed by Sagat.
True.
Okay, like it should just be bad. Like not like bad matchup, but like in a point where like Ryu has to take some risks
Yeah,
to kind of get in, to kind of get it going.
true. So, okay,
Did Ryu beat Sagat?
in
And that's the
five,
question.
yes.
I think Sagat beats Ryu.
Yeah, Sagat beat Ryu.
Yeah, Sagat
Yeah,
beats
Sagat
Ryu.
beat Ryu. Yeah, for sure, 100%. His
In
buttons were too
4,
good, and he did way too much
Sagat
damage.
beat Ryu too. Sagat beat Ryu in 4.
Yeah, like in 5, Ryu. Remember Ryu's buttons were so stubby, but Sagat had the range still. So he had
No
the
shot,
range. Yeah, it was that shit was not good for Ryu, bro.
That fucking guy cannot do anything there.
Yeah.
Mind you, in that game, they can only jump. No parry is gonna save him from those stagger shots. Let me tell you. He only has one opportunity there. The sweep V trigger, so he can kind of get the party started.
Yeah,
You know,
that was
the only
literally
time.
it.
That was it. But like, that shit was free.
Yeah, literally. Like at a certain point, I just stopped moving because I was like, all right, I know what's coming, and then you just let it happen, and then you
The
just
sweep V trigger for Ryu.
yeah, literally. Okay, so last one. So two more World Warrior points. So US East, Punk wins that over Boost, I believe.
Expected, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so he won that. I played pretty bad. I was not playing good that day. I lost to fucking Terry and Kimberly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did not play good. I didn't feel great going into it, and that's okay. It's the first World Warrior. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Felt like shit though afterwards. I'm not gonna lie to you, but after I slept it off, I felt better.
Okay, and then the other one is the UK.
The UK is Infectious. Infectious! Did you watch that shit? That shit was poetry.
Yeah, I'm happy. But it's obviously, Infexious has always been known as, with obviously the pros, right? We know he's real, right? You know, all of us, right? You know what I mean? Like, we know about Infectious.
Yeah.
Infectious is insane. Like, but like for him to show up there and bust out some fucking modern Marissa and cook people is actually impressive, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see that, you know? Yeah.
That is one of my favorite players ever.
One of the best players in the world, you know, especially in his region, you know, for so long. And they have to show up with that one. But you know what? He's been playing for a bit, though. He's been trying to play as a modern Ryu, modern this. He's trying different things, right? But then the modern Marissa kind of clicked. Yeah.
Especially with her buffs. Yeah, he was. I'm not saying I'm surprised, but I know for the other players, they're like, fuck, bro, we gotta deal with Infectious in his prime again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it's not even like, mind you, he didn't even play like the modern kind of made a difference. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that, right? You know, seriously. He didn't have like those one button supers on things. Yeah, he didn't do that. He just had his for his Gladius. You know, that's basically it for it, right? Like, but yeah, but he played like he would have done the same thing on Classic, guys. That's how insane Infectious is. He did it in 4 and 5. He's gonna do the same as 6, guys. So no doubt. Yeah.
That is a dude that just knows how to win. He's just a great learner. He's done it with not only multiple games, multiple archetypes too. He's played fucking Hugo right in 4, fucking Zeku in 5, bro. And then he's doing it with modern Marissa. That like,
I mean, that's same as Hugo though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But still, like, right, like contrasting.
Yeah, he can play. He can play that for sure. Like first of all, like, also, what's up with the discourse about like people were hating on him playing modern?
Were they?
Yeah. What's up with that?
I thought I saw a lot of love for that. I didn't see much hate.
Sure. No, I'm talking like, do you know those people that did not know about Infectious? Remember, like, you see the comments in the chat saying like, dude, a random person playing modern just won. It's like, random person? What are we talking? Random person?
Bro,
like, you know, that's what those people.
The internet, bro. This is what the internet's allowed, bro. It's allowed people that have no idea what they're talking about.
Like, that's not a random person, motherfuckers. Like first of all, like, also, like, there's a reason why there's no modern player that's winning, because there's just a disadvantage for modern. Clearly, there is. Because if there was an advantage, a lot of pros would have been playing modern already. Takedo used to play modern, but he dropped modern because you also lose a lot of things. You do gain some things, but you also lose some things, right?
I think it depends on the character, though, because Chun arguably looks like she's better in modern.
No.
You don't think? Especially with all the changes to the fucking... Now
she's a different character. Yeah, for sure. But like I'm saying like you can't tell me that modern controls is better than classic, basically. That is OP, right? There's a reason why we don't have anybody qualifying in modern controls. There's a reason.
Yet.
But you see the numbers, the history. Like I'm saying, like I'm not saying like it's not OP. It's just viable. So I'm saying like I don't know why people are hating on it for no reason. Like, because if it was so easy, it was scrubby, then a lot of people playing modern controls also in that sense would have been cooking also. But they ain't.
Fair.
They ain't. Yeah, right? They ain't cooking anyways, right? So I'm saying like it's not a controls part. It's the U part. Like, it's not the modern controls. So like, but I'm saying like the modern controls is just like it's there, it's accessible, and it's there. It's nice. Sure, it's annoying for some people. Like, but just like any other matchup, you have to also learn the matchup how to deal with modern players. Yeah. So that's just my take on it. Yeah.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we can move on. All right, let me do a quick book of the week, and then we can do our Q&As, and then we can boogie. All right, here's my book of the week, guys. It's Contagious. All right, so this book basically goes into the secret science of why things go rival, right? And including, you know, the like Charlie bit my finger, all these classic videos, you know, the Nintendo bot himself. Why do these videos catch fire on the internet? All right, so we talk about products, services, policy initiatives, things like that, YouTube videos, and we learned the driving forces behind word of mouth exchanges and social transmissions. Pretty dope book. I read it. Helped me a lot with just understanding, you know, why things spread, essentially. Right, pretty good book. Highly recommended it for anybody that's interested in like marketing their content and stuff like that. All right, the author is Jonah Berger. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name, but yeah. Okay, Q&A time, champ. Oh, okay, I like this one from Lucky Lux. If one was to get coaching, at what point in their fighting game journey do you think it is most beneficial? I have such a simple answer to this. It is beneficial at any point. It all depends on honestly what it is that you want. You have to know what you want. So
correct.
A brand new player that wants to learn, all right, what do you know exactly what you're aiming for? Then sure, we can you can get coached. But if it's somebody that's like, you know, like you want to get coached on how to, you know, do the inputs, like stuff like that, you don't need coaching for that, right? But in terms of synthesizing and putting ideas and thoughts together, coaching will help you at any single level. All right. So there's a lot of, you know, weird pushback of people being like, why would you want to coach and blah, blah, blah. We got to remember what coaches do, like Champ, myself, and others, is that we collapse time. The 15 years of me playing fighting games, you don't have to live through or experience to get to a level of proficiency that you're aiming for. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that for countless amount of students.
It's the time machine.
Right.
So like you do coaching is like it will save you so much time because you don't have to experience the trial and error in situations. I'll just give you straight all the answers that's needed for that. But you have to just experience them. But yeah, so at any level, it doesn't matter. So I coach players from like different levels. I've been coached like some like 48-year-old person who just wants to win at anything, and he wants to beat like his colleagues, right? And it's like this guy's an executive, okay? And mind you, they'd never played fighting games before. These professionals, like, you know, from their craft, right? They're not like fighting game players or any esports, but obviously they're really aged already, right? But then they're like, yeah, I want to beat my colleagues, whatever. And then so obviously they're all like silver, gold, whatever, right? So when that happened, I was like, okay, I did not necessarily like tell them, but like I, you know, helped the player. I was coaching a couple of them to get to like 1600. They didn't even know how difficult that was, but like I was giving them like different like journeys and goals that they need to do in tasks to get to 1600, but they didn't know how strong that was because they don't know anything about fighting game community. They don't know anything. They don't know the Jaywongs of the world, the punks of the world, the men. They don't know that because they just want to beat that. So mind you, those guys that they wanted to beat, and those guys were still silver and gold, you know. But what do you think happened? A 1600 master, modern player beating those guys. What do you think happened to their match? How bad do you think that was? A 1600 MR versus a gold platinum guy. What do you think happened to that match?
Tormented.
Brother, it was bad. Yeah, you know, so it's like that. But yeah, but essentially with situations like that, you know, You can get help on anything at any level, but yeah. Okay, let me read mine.
Because even the best get coached, bro. Like I get coached.
100%.
Champ
100%.
coaches me every week, right? Like it's the same shit. I
Asking help for
prioritize
anything is
learning,
like
bro.
normal. Yeah,
You
learning
know,
is learning. So
it's
it's like
learning
totally
is
different
learning.
aspect.
Yeah. At a certain
Okay.
point, like you'll get blinded by your own biases. So it's good to go outside of yourself. Not because you're weak, but it's like to balance. I need balance. I need Champ to say something I'd never considered. I'm like, oh shit, I never thought of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So here's a great one. Fucking Mena wins 2 Capcom Cups, right? And leading up to the second one, I was showing him something, right? I didn't even realize how important it was to him. It was something specifically for him against somebody that he thought he was going to face in top 8. And when we were hanging out a couple weeks ago, he told me, he's like, yo, you know, ever since you taught me that, I've literally looked at the game only like this because of that. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
That's so valuable.
That's so sick.
That's so valuable because it gives them a different perspective on things, right? You know?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, look at that, man. And that constant hunger for knowledge is what it's about. That's how you reach excellence, man. All right, go ahead.
Does Jam get coach? What do you mean? I got coaching for so long as well. I had Shady Cats my coach for so long, guys. Yeah, but obviously now I don't get coach.
Yeah, you do. Stop lying. I coached you how to stop being a Nintendo bot. You freak.
Nobody coaches me. I'm too good. Okay.
You see?
All right. Let me see. All right. Let me see this. I get noticeably worse the longer the session. Is there a good exercise to help with consistency? Okay. So this I got this question many times before in my stream. Okay, that's what you call stamina. Okay, your stamina when you're playing is like obviously everybody has stamina. How long can you keep that level of focus, right? But then it depends. Like so, what I've noticed throughout the years is that if somebody is a quick starter or a slow starter meaning like slow starter players would be like, oh, let me just warm up. They have to warm up first to kind of get their brain going. Those players that actually need to warm up first, they have a longer stamina in general. They can kind of like keep their focus for a longer duration. The people who do just like if they just wake up, they can just play and they can just play like same level. Those guys have a shorter stamina. Okay, but then to answer your question to you, how to increase stamina in general, you actually really just need to really play a lot, but then you kind of have to have some baseline. So what I did before was like, okay, so I've noticed with me, even now, if I can play like many hours, you guys seen before, but after the third hour, I would decline because I would start doing things where like, oh my god, why am I doing this thing? It's usually doing things just part of reps. So I know that. So sometimes the 3 hour mark has crossed, I would just talk for a second or like start like, you guys, let's check out this video, and after that one, like 10 minutes later, I'll play again. Now I'm back to my second win, for instance. But yeah, like knowing when to pause between for yourself, knowing when to pause and when you should be continually playing, when like, and then instead of like some people, they're like, oh, after they lost, you just gotta go, I gotta go play again, right? But in reality, you should actually take the time to break, to have a break, to kind of like get your mind to collect all the information that you have gathered throughout that session period. Yeah. So and then play again after, but knowing where to have breaks and stuff is important. You can't just like keep going. Like, you have to kind of build that up. So having breaks and stuff. So with me, every 3 hours, I recommend some players to do it like every 2 hours to have a like 10-minute, 15-minute break or something, and then you go play again. And then that one, your second win on that one is gonna be like 2 hours. After that one, that's the time where you're like, your mind or your brain is done playing for the most part if you don't have that much stamina anyways. So that's when you kind of like slowly increase that. So later on when you play again your session, you want to, instead of 2 hours you're done, you got to play with 2 hours and 15. You kind of have to build that up, stamina. Like players like Zap doesn't have to worry about that because they've been playing for so long, right? They have stamina for days, so it doesn't matter, right? But like I'm talking like for new players in general, like yeah, you need to actually build their stamina because it requires so much focus to play fighting games. The amount of focus and attention to detail you need to have for that 1-2 minute match, brother, is a lot, right? So yeah, so to keep that level of focus is needed.
Yeah, and it's not even just like focusing on one thing. You're also mentally pivoting between thoughts, between focuses, between stresses and stuff like that. And you exert a lot of energy in such a short span of time. Like if you're playing in a 2 out of 3 set, but it's subtle. You don't even realize it. I was saying a couple weeks ago when we had this book as the book of the week, Peak Performance, what separates the best from the rest is the rest. So it's like what Champ said, you have to master the work, but you also have to master your relaxation. You have to know when do you need to relax, right? You don't go to the gym and sleep and inside of the gym and only do bench pressing and just wake up and bench press again in the whole 24 hours of the day. No, like you have a target, and that target is used to gauge and measure your progress, to increase to a certain level of intensity, to in strengthen endurance, power, strength, whatever it is, maybe flexibility, mobility, whatever it is. You should know going into your sessions what your goal is, right? And then that way you do not exert past that. If you don't have a goal, everything becomes the goal, and then guess what happens? You end up fucking burning out because you're trying to fucking win. You try to win, or you're trying to force things, or you start to autopilot, like Champ was saying. You don't really know why you're doing shit. Maybe you start getting tilted. You don't even know you're tilted, So
I always have goals when I play.
Mm.
Like, so I have a direction instead of just fucking around. Because, like, in reality, it's really boring for a pro to play rank. It's fucking boring. It's not fun. At a certain level, I don't have fun playing rank, right? I don't have fun playing rank anymore. So, but that's why I'm playing other characters. That's why I don't play my main, because it's boring. So what I do is, it's not as engaging, I guess is the right word for it. So that's why when I'm playing, let's say if I stream whatever, I would be like, okay, my goal today is like, okay, we're gonna take this character to this MR, because I know I'm gonna struggle for a certain period, and then I'm gonna persevere through it, and then I'm gonna lab situations, and then I'm gonna learn, and then I'm gonna beat it, right? So at least they have a goal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna need to get this character this, and then now, in between those goals, I'm gonna have like things where like, okay, I need to learn how to do this combo at this spot. Okay, I need to learn how to do this hit confirm here in this spot. So now adding attributes to your goals, in between that, so it's pretty good. So it's just kind of like building a new character in a sense, but more accelerated version, what a pro would do. But yeah, so that's like more engaging and more fun, at least for me. So this is what I do.
Word. Okay.
But do you play do you play a lot of rank?
Are you asking me? Are you saying that like as a general? Oh,
yeah.
So if I play ranked,
it's reps only though, for reps.
It's usually to practice something in particular that I know I'm going to benefit from in a bracket. So for example,
yes, correct. Yeah, that's the point of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, because MR doesn't really, I don't really care about MR. Like, cool, like, right?
It's
Especially
easy to get it.
Yeah, and in the States, it's like it's not as fun getting it as it would be in Japan, right? Where there's way more point values getting thrown around.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I play ranked, right, let's say like lately I've been working on the movement things that we talked about. So learning somebody's movement in a 2 out of 3, has been my focus, because when I can do that, then I can understand them so much faster, and then I can risk losing less games before I actually understand the person. So I've been working on that aspect of 2 out of 3. You know what I'm saying?
The process time.
Yeah, processing time, right? And it's been helping. But then now I'm doing it. I'm cycling between Jamie and Dawson while I'm doing it. So that way it's very realistic, like a you know what I'm saying?
The character, you shouldn't have to have like, you give up that one round for the loading time, right? Yeah, you have to practice that.
Yeah. And so what will happen, bro, is if I don't remind myself, because sometimes you might just not pay attention, and you might lose focus, and you might start doing shit that's off the path. If I don't remind myself what the point of the fucking training session is for, then I might try to start winning, or trying to force shit, or just training the things that don't matter. Those are all distractions, you know what I'm saying? So I always like to make sure I keep my goal in front of me, whether it's like on a document digitally, or maybe written on a note, or my notebook is next to me, something, or if I'm training with people, I remind them, we're working on this. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't become a dick measuring contest, and it's like, we're actually trying to fucking
to be
improve.
honest, also, you also have to separate the results and the actual goal. You have to separate them, because like I say, you have a goal like, okay, I need to do these things. For instance, if you have a goal like, okay, I need to be very proficient with these following things with my character. Like, I need to be able to do this thing. I need to process the answers for these problems, right? but then you happen to lose the set, right? Or you lose the first two, whatever, in the rank, right? That shouldn't affect you if you were able to do those things that you said you're gonna have, that you were gonna do. Because like the results should not matter. It's about what you're working on. Because like now once you put them together, that's when results matter, right? Because now you're working on an attribute. So if you're working on an attribute, that should be the goal. That's it. So if you're trying to implement something to increase your comfortability to actually execute them in a high pressure scenario, whatever, to prepare you for those things, or the processing time of the decision, that's the goal that you're doing while you're having a session, while you're playing rank, whatever. That should be the goal, right? But then regardless if you win or lose that set, doesn't matter. But did you practice those things that you wanted to practice, right? That's the goal. Then yeah, that's good. So if you're working on your anti-airs, guys, if you say, okay, I need to land my crosscut DPs or whatever, I need to land 2, right? I need to land 2 in like 4 games, for instance, right? Then if you get your crosscut DPs happen, right? But then you happen to lose the game, that's okay. Now let's try the next time you have a session. Now let's try to win and then crosscut DP. It's kind of like that. So you kind of have to be easy on yourself at times because fighting games are hard.
Yeah, sometimes people skip steps, bro, and then just like straight to win. Like, oh, I did it once, straight to winning, right? And it's like, you start like, there's a saying, it's like giants trip over pebbles, right? Like it's always the small, subtle things that'll trip you up, the unseen shit, right? Not the obvious shit. So like, and so you have to be self-aware, and you have to be careful of just not being in a rush.
Talk about like, what if the goal is a 50 game win streak? Are you a pro? If you're a pro, then you can have that. Even a pro doesn't even have goals like that. I have like 183 game win streak. It was fucking irrelevant. I got pissed off after I lost the game. So it was fucking pointless. Okay, I don't think I've gotten 70, 120, 150.
So
I did it all on stream. It's absolutely irrelevant. So like, also, if you translate that in the real world, it's irrelevant also because it doesn't matter if you beat your opponent 2-1, 3-1, right? Last game, last round, or 2-0, 4 perfects. It doesn't matter. Did you beat your opponent, right? The answer is yes, then you advance. So it doesn't matter. Fucking useless. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, sometimes like I'm not gonna lie, I would get kind of caught up. This is where like comparison is like really fucking dangerous, because you'll see another player and be like, yo, they're doing this and they have what I want, so I should be able to do this too. Yeah, right. But that's an illusion. Not you, though. That's not you, exactly. That's the thing. That's the illusion, right?
Everybody's different. Yeah, totally.
Because me, for example, I don't usually beat people clean 2-0, 3-0.
Who cares?
Right?
Did you win?
Yeah, right. If I'm winning, it's usually like a game was sacrificed, so I can understand, and then I collapse the person like fucking.
That's
right?
what matters.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
But sometimes
how many times you seen Tokido 2-0 somebody? How many times?
That's true. He's a good example of that.
How about Bonchan? That Bonchan is known to lose the first game every time, or like first round at least. That's normal. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So the question is, did you beat the guy in the first 2 or first 3? Right? That's what matters the most. Yeah.
Yeah, missing the forest for the trees, guys. You gotta make sure you zoom out. Don't get too caught up in the details, because not all the details matter. Not all the details matter.
Guys, if you guys ever lose a rank set, you just move on, go on to the next, guys. It does not mean that person that bodied the fuck out of you that time just owns your soul, guys. It's just one of the 100 games that you're gonna play. Oh, 2 out of the 100 games that you're gonna play. Okay, that's it. You move on. Fuck his name. Fuck whatever that. Yeah, just remember the detail how you lost, so you can improve for it next time.
Yeah, don't internalize it. Like people, like they fucking they put so much stake and value in the MR, bro. They like, it's like, yo, if I don't do this, I'm not a good player. It's like, yo, there are players that are at 2,100. I don't think are good players.
Stop saying that. Yeah.
Well, okay. I don't mean like they're like terrible, but what I mean is like I don't consider them like tournament winning players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like they're bad players, but like I don't when I
bad.
Yeah, when I think of like great play, that's what I'm thinking of, is like that.
Yeah, but those motherfuckers can beat a pro though at any point.
Yeah, but I mean, of course anybody can in these fucking games, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you have to treat everybody with respect, because everybody's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, was that 3 questions? Or was that 2?
Yeah, that's it.
That was it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? You know how to count?
Well, I did. Oh, actually, you know what? What did you?
This
Did you
motherfucker,
just
bro.
Did you just do it for my question? Right.
Yeah, I responded.
So that means you have to do yours now again. You're
Yeah.
the third one because usually do two. I do one.
Well, technically,
Yeah,
I
so you
asked
pick-
three
you pick yours
questions because I
first.
asked if you knew how to count. So apparently, you don't know how to count.
I do
So
not
you
know.
know,
I do
I
not know.
think that's the end of the
Listen to
stream.
me.
You don't know
What
how
the
to
fuck-
count. Thank
what
you.
the
Have a
fuck do
good
I know
day,
about
guys.
numbers?
Everybody, champ don't know how to
No,
count.
no.
All right, goodbye.